welcome to the Yapfest podcast featuring Ben and Lola. My name is the Puppet Master.
And I'm Lord Foog the Toost.
And today, we kind of thought that we would talk about like celebrity or celebrity adjacent people because when I was coming up with topics, a couple of the people or topics on my list were like Dan and Phil and Shane Dawson and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
and and I just feel like we need to go into it. The horrors of 2014 is like a whole different thing that we can go into,
Absolutely.
but I feel like we need to talk about because we grew up with YouTube was like I'm pretty sure YouTube came out in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So we like really grew up with YouTube and like the rise of content creation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
so
no. YouTube launched in 2005.
oh 2005? Oh, my
Yeah.
bad.
But like
Still,
2010 was like the peak of like when it became big.
yeah. My little brother was born in 2005. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
there was never a time where he existed where YouTube didn't exist, which is crazy. Um but I just feel like there's so much to unpack about YouTube and about content creation because like there are several like OG YouTubers that I think of when I think about YouTubers.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you think about the same ones that I do, but I immediately think about Jenna Marbles,
Mm-hmm.
I Superwoman I.
Absolutely.
I think about Shane Dawson even though I don't think he started till later.
Yeah. I think about like O2L.
I was gonna say O2L. I was
Absolutely.
gonna say O2L. Um, and
I
I was gonna
Justine.
I Justine, yeah, and I was gonna say O2L because apparently Connor Franta and Troye Sivan did actually date.
They did. And it came
Tyler
out.
Oakley,
Yes, and it came out that they were dating because of Chapel Roan. Both of
yeah,
them promoted Chapel Roan when she was really young,
yeah,
and
yeah,
in a recent interview, one of them said, like, me and my boyfriend at the time stumbled across this artist, and going back
and
into
it
their
was
tweets,
yeah, and it was your favorite artist's favorite artist,
mm-hmm,
and that's crazy to me. But anyway, I can't think of any. Well, I just said Tyler Oakley. I don't know if I can think of anything like any more like what I think of as OG YouTubers off the top of my head.
yeah, I was
Um.
big into like Joey
Oh
Graceffa,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and unfortunately Colleen Ballinger and Miranda Sings. That was
We
my whole shtick.
Here's the thing. We got trapped with that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like the whole point of her videos was to get children to watch them and like
Hmm.
them. You know what I'm saying?
Because they were silly and stupid and funny.
Yeah. And like it didn't work out very well for her.
No, she's still posting.
She
She's still
is?
posting. Yes, she is.
Even after the toxic gossip train?
Yeah, she's returned on Instagram and YouTube. Still posting vlogs.
That's crazy to me. That's like
Hmm.
that also that like another thing that confuses me, and we could get into this too, is that Brooke Schofield took like no time off at all. I
No,
think her tweets were so bad. I think she should be deplatformed altogether.
well,
Did you see them?
yes, absolutely.
They were
I
so bad.
watched Tana Mojo's whole podcast without her.
Oh, I didn't watch it because I was like, I'm done with these people.
Yeah.
I won't
Um,
watch them anymore.
Speak of another um OG for me, Tana Mojo,
True.
Trisha Paytas.
Oh my god, how could I forget
Let's talk
Trisha?
about the queen who just gets canceled over and over and does not care. Truly,
No.
Trisha Paytas is one for the books. Future generations will look back on her and be like, how is this acceptable? But I still eat her up every time.
Here's the thing. I find her funny in like an ironic way. Like I don't follow her on anything, I don't think, but like sometimes her TikToks will come up on my For You page, and she's just doing something so ridiculous that I have to laugh. You know what I mean?
It's
Because she's a
I
troll.
think
She's a troll.
no, she's genuinely a troll, and
She always has been.
I think motherhood has humbled her a lot.
I agree.
Me watching the videos of her interacting with her kids, specifically Malibu, now that she's a little bit older, she's such a good mom.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
She's such a good mom. It's all she's ever wanted.
Well, because she had fertility issues, I think.
Yes. But also imagine growing up and being Malibu and then realizing all the things your mother has done on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think now that she's a mother, she's reined it in. She still throws out one hitters out there all the time.
Yeah.
Um, specifically, what was the caption of that TikTok that's been trending of hers?
The married with a okay.
Yes, King Tut. Um,
My
might be problematic. Might delete later.
yeah,
Something like that.
probs. Wait, should I look it up? It exists everywhere. She recreates it every single year.
Probably offensive. Prob
Oh,
offensive. Might delete later.
yeah. And like here's the thing. Was it offensive? Probably a little bit because of like her costume,
But
right?
people do that shit every year.
Oh, do
On
they?
Halloween, you will see
Oh, I guess you're
countless
right.
Cleopatras.
Yeah, I will say that when I was like 7 or 8, I was Cleopatra, and I would like to formally apologize. I didn't know what was going on because I was 7 or 8, but I'm
I
sorry. I'm
ate
sorry.
ancient Egypt up as a kid.
I still do.
Me too. Their culture is a whole thing. We can get into ancient civilizations on a whole nother
Oh, and we should
podcast.
because I literally like I'm a Percy Jackson
Oh, through
fan,
and through.
but also like I literally took like world mythology in high school and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So I literally have like a book of like world mythology, like the gods and goddesses and
Mm-hmm.
with mythology.
Great.
I've educated myself on Egyptian culture since I was 7 or 8.
Yay.
That's my apology.
And that's what we should all do. Um, Unfortunately, on the day we've decided to record about pop culture and celebrities, it is unfortunate news that Dame Maggie Smith has passed away at the age of 89, um, in a hospital due to old age, surrounded by family and friends.
I was shocked.
R.I.P. Me too.
I was genuinely so because like she's one of those people that you're like she's gonna live forever.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
like Betty White. When do you remember when we were on the beach in Florida and I went Betty White just died and everybody
Yes.
was like what the fuck?
Yes. She died at 99, like I think weeks before her 100th birthday party.
And she was older than sliced bread.
Older than sliced bread.
That's so crazy. Like genuinely. But anyway, back to Maggie Smith. Genuinely, like I like thought she was gonna live forever.
Truly, that woman is eternal.
Yeah, and she will live on eternal.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Professor McGonagall was one of my favorite characters of the Harry Potter movies.
I never was like super into Harry Potter, but I think she was my favorite because she turned into a cat.
She, she really did that role justice. She gave
She
it
did.
her love.
She did.
Absolutely.
Um yeah. It's sad. I feel like I don't have that much to say about it because I'm still just like I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of tragic events, did you know canonically if 9/11 didn't happen, we wouldn't have 50 Shades of Grey?
oh, I know this lore. I know this lore because if 9/11 didn't happen, Gerard Way wouldn't have started My Chemical Romance,
Hmm.
and then Stephanie Meyer, is that her name? Stephanie Meyer
Yes.
wouldn't have written Twilight because Twilight is a fan fiction about My Chemical Romance.
Yes. And then a fan fiction of the Twilight Saga was being written. Took somehow a BDSM turn and turned into what we now know as 50
50
Shades of
Shades of
Grey.
Grey. Yeah.
And that iconic, is it a trilogy or just two books?
50 Shades of Grey or Twilight?
50 Shades of Grey.
I think there's only 3 books, but I could be wrong. Because I get confused because like 50 Shades of Grey was so popular that people started writing books just like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, can't remember if it's a book or if it's a TV show or movie, but it's called After, and I think Bella Thorne's in it or something. And it's basically 50 Shades of Grey. Like that genre of fiction became so popular, I get confused
Mm-hmm.
like which ones are which. But I'm pretty sure there's only 3 50 Shades of Grey. But
Yes,
correct me if I'm
there's
wrong.
50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Free.
50 Shades Free. Free from what? The bondage?
I have no clue. Never read it, never seen it.
I'm never gonna read it. It sounds
So,
scary. Isn't
canonically,
Dakota Johnson's in the movie, isn't she?
maybe? I don't know. I've never seen it.
I've seen the commercials because I had to watch them against my will so that I could watch my other show because they used to put the commercials like in between my show, and so I had to watch the commercials. Obviously, I'm pretty sure Dakota Johnson's in it, which is like
Yes.
even more why I won't watch it. No offense to Dakota Johnson, I can't
Yes, she plays
I
Anastasia
cannot watch
Steele.
I can't watch anything with her in it. I won't watch Madam Web. Like, it's bad. Like, her as a person, like, I think when she goes on, like, the late night shows, I think she's really funny. I think she's great. That's not the truth, Ellen. But, like, in movies and stuff, I can't watch her. So,
What about
sorry.
her you don't like?
She's really deadpan.
Hmm.
And, like, I think that only works in comedy. Which,
Understandable.
to be fair, I think she's just had a movie came out called like Am I Okay or something. It's something like that. But basically, she plays the main character who like discovers that she might be a lesbian, and then she goes like on the whole journey like accepting herself and stuff. And
Hmm.
it's like a coming of age comedy thing, except she's already an adult, I guess. So I don't know
Yes.
if you count as coming of age, but it looks good. And
Yeah.
I think that her personality and her style works better in comedy.
Am I
She's
okay? Was released in 2022 and it has an 81% on Rotten
It
Tomatoes.
was released in 2022.
Hmm.
Then why have I been seeing like commercials and ads for it all of a sudden?
Is there a sequel coming out?
I don't know. That's interesting. But I just feel like she's kind of like what's her name? Aubrey
Oh,
Plaza.
you're so right. There are trailers being posted in 2024, but Google says it was released in 2022.
It could have maybe it was released at a festival in 2022 and now they're putting it out into theaters in 2024.
Yeah, initial release was January 24th, 2022.
Yeah. They might have put it out at festivals and now they're actually releasing it like they're
Hmm.
distributing it. Um that's something that happens a lot. But I think that she and Aubrey Plaza are very similar in style to me.
Hmm.
They have their differences, but I get them mixed up sometimes.
I love a good Aubrey Plaza, though.
I really need to watch Agatha All Along.
It is so good. At the time
Patty
of
LaPone is
recording,
in it.
at the time of recording this episode, I only 3 episodes have been released. I have watched all of the episodes multiple times. I can't get the Witch's Road ballad out of my head.
Oh, was that the
Uh,
one you sent me?
yes, it is a mental illness. It is an addiction, and I will not apologize for it.
Oh no. If I have the hiccups, we're gonna be in some trouble. um I really need to watch it, but I lost the Disney Plus password, so I have to
It
ask my
is
mom for it.
it is truly so good. 3 episodes in, oh, it shit gets real.
Well, I didn't realize at first that it had lesbian undertones.
Yes, it does.
So I need to get into that immediately.
Yes, Agatha and Rio Vidal, Aubrey Plaza's character, um, are rumored to have had a romance between them.
A tryst.
Yes, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's the reason why they can't kill each other. There's some kind of spell.
Oh.
They
That's
can't kill each other.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to get into that. I have to remember to try and get the password.
And in the first episode, this isn't a spoiler or anything. Um, Rio Vidal and Agatha are talking, and Agatha says, "You don't have a heart." And Rio goes, "I do. A black heart, and it beats for you."
Girl, that's crazy. I have to watch that shit. With my
Shit's
ears.
good. Shit's good. Arguably, I think here's what had happened. In the Marvel Studios office, some Gen Z intern was like, "We have to appease the gays. Like, after WandaVision, we just haven't been getting that audience. Who's that? Who's that Broadway actress that everybody just loves?
I cannot believe
Patty
Patty LaPone.
LaPone?
I cannot believe Patty LaPone is in that. And also, furthermore, I can't believe Deborah Jo Rupp is in it.
Yes.
Like she's so old, isn't she? Because in that '70s show, which
Mm-hmm.
I know that they didn't make that '70s show in the '70s, like they made it in the '90s, but it was set in the '70s or something.
Yeah.
But she looked older in that '70s show than like I don't know. Like her age confuses me. She's another one of those that I'm convinced will live forever.
She is 73 years old.
Only 73.
Only 73.
That's
There was a,
crazy to me.
there was an interview that came out where she was asked the question, is it hard when you have a role that's so infamous that that's what people automatically associate with you? And she was like, no, my time on that '70s show was amazing. And it's not like I was playing a bad character. Like, I was playing a character everybody loved and
Yeah.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that show has just always been a blessing to me. And so
Yeah.
I will say,
Well, good for her. What?
this isn't a spoiler. It's in the trailer. She doesn't last long.
No! No! I yelled so loud I heard myself through your headphones. No, Deborah Jo. I'm gonna miss her so bad when I watch it.
She is truly comedic relief in this show. It's amazing.
I'm
Well,
sure she
did
is.
you watch WandaVision?
No.
You have to watch WandaVision to understand her character first.
Do I have to watch WandaVision to understand the whole show first? Because I understand the concept of WandaVision. I just don't know what happens.
I would suggest at least watching like a YouTube video that summarizes it up because
Okay.
Wanda still has a very important role in this show, even though she hasn't made an appearance yet.
Okay.
Um, and everything that happens in WandaVision between Wanda and Agatha is what sets up this show.
Okay, so it doesn't take place before. It takes
No,
place like after.
this takes place 3 years after.
Oh, that's a long. Well, I hasn't it been 3 years since it came out anyway?
It has. It's been 4 years, actually.
Oh,
Just under 4 years.
okay. I'll think about it. I might just watch it because I don't care. Because like I here's the thing: when WandaVision was coming out, I would accidentally see spoilers all the time because I never had any
Mm-hmm.
intention of watching it, but because I didn't know that they were going to make the Agatha one, which I'm far more interested in.
Absolutely.
So I've seen some spoilers, so I know kind of what happens, but like not everything because I never actually watched the whole
I
thing.
will say the beginning of Agatha and WandaVision are a little bit similar where you're not really sure what's happening
Okay.
at the beginning because of the way it's like setting up the hacks, which will make sense
Okay.
when you watch. But like
Okay.
the first episode of WandaVision is in all black and white. And it's like you're watching a 50s sitcom
Mhm.
and you're like, I don't understand this. You will.
Okay. That's what I was going to say is I don't really understand why like it's kind of like Truman Show-ish and I don't really understand why.
Yeah. So, um, to set up in the Avengers movies, um, Wanda and Vision are like having this like romance. They're both from the same place and they both have effects from the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone is what controls Vision. It's like what gives him life. He's a robot.
He is a robot. Okay.
Yes.
I was going to ask that.
Yes, he's a robot. Um Made out of vibranium. Which if you have you watched any of the Black Panther movies?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So you know what vibranium is.
Yeah.
Vision makes Wanda destroy the Mind Stone, which kills Vision to save the world.
Oh, classic.
But then time gets reversed and Thanos kills Vision in front of Wanda.
Oh, that sucks.
And after that, Wanda gets to be the closest Avenger to single handedly kill Thanos.
So she didn't kill Thanos,
No, she didn't,
but she almost did.
but single handedly got the closest.
Oh, that's kind of awesome, girl boss.
Yes. And it's like she goes through the whole like you've taken everything from me, and Thanos is like, "Am I supposed to know who you are?"
They always
And
do
then
that.
she's like, "You will."
That's crazy. You know what's so crazy? This is kind of it's not that off topic, but it's a little off topic.
Mm-hmm.
Um WWE superstar Damian Priest was supposed to be in Black Panther and Vince
Really?
McMahon. And Vince McMahon at the time he was still running the company, um, took the role away from him. So he had the
Damn.
role. I can't remember it was not the main guy. It like he wasn't actual Black Panther, but he was supposed to be in the movie and it was like a bigger role. Like he had a named role. And
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember for the life of me which role. But Vince McMahon took like literally was like, you can't do it anymore. I'm taking it away from you. And then
Damn.
yeah, and then so now that Triple H runs the company and not Vince McMahon,
Mm-hmm.
like they're all allowed to like do acting stuff and be in movies.
Nice.
Anyway,
Yeah, John Cena and his pretty privilege.
oh yeah, he's about to do his retirement tour.
Really?
Yeah, he's coming back to WWE and he's going to do his retirement tour and then he's going to retire from wrestling.
That's crazy.
I know. I don't know when it's supposed to start, like if it's supposed to start at WrestleMania or if it's supposed to end at WrestleMania. But WrestleMania is in April and it hasn't started yet, and I would assume it would be multiple months long.
Probably.
So, but he might be waiting until because some of the some of the WWE shows are supposed to go to Netflix in January, and they
Mm-hmm.
might be waiting for that.
Sounds good.
But I just think it's crazy that like he's not that old. He's not. He's like a couple of years younger than my mom. So he's in his 50s.
Yeah,
And he could still wrestle. Like
absolutely.
like people have wrestled into their 60s before and then retired. He could still like he still has a couple of years in him, but I just think it's crazy that he's going to like finally retire from wrestling when that's where he started from.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's mind-boggling to me because I've always known him as a wrestler, even though I've only ever seen like I didn't grow up watching wrestling, and so like I always knew he was a wrestler because duh.
Yeah.
But like I've only ever seen him like he was in the Fred movie.
What a pull.
He played Fred's
Talk about
dad.
OG YouTubers.
Yes, that's another one. He played. We also need to talk about iCarly. Um, but
Crazy.
but John Cena literally played Fred's dad in the Fred movie, and he's about to retire. Like I don't know. That's kind of a another tangent, but I just think it's so crazy that after so long, like he's not going to retire from acting because
No,
he has a really good acting career, and he can go for a lot longer. But I don't know.
absolutely.
I
He's
just
just
think
going to
it's
be like Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
yeah. Well, and
Absolutely.
you know what's crazy is I don't think Dwayne the Rock Johnson is retired from wrestling yet.
No,
He's not. So, but I would assume that because John Cena's retiring soon, Dwayne the Rock Johnson probably will too.
absolutely. Definitely.
And I can see them setting that up soon for other reasons, which we should do an episode of me teaching you all the WWE lore because it's extensive.
Sounds good.
And also because a documentary just came out about Vince McMahon and how bad of a person he is.
Hmm.
He's like the Diddy of wrestling.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I was
So
gonna go there about Diddy today, but
you're not
so
going to
many
do it?
people no, so many people are talking about Diddy already.
Okay.
Like, I don't need to add my opinion to the fire. He's an awful man. He deserves to be locked up. There are others who deserve to be locked up next to him. But
True.
it all takes time.
I think it's crazy that people are like, "Oh my god, Beyonce's going down. Beyonce's going down." Like,
Well, it's because of Jay-Z.
well, yeah. Well, I mean, but I think like I think it's crazy that people are saying that Jay-Z is worse than Diddy. Do you think that's true?
I think if Jaguar Wright has any value to the words that she says, he purposefully hides himself from the limelight
I
because
was
of
going to
all
say
of the stunts he pulls behind the scenes.
I feel like I mean, we never really know what Beyonce is doing, but even more, we never really know what Jay Z is doing. I don't think he's come out with music in years.
Mm-mm. He's pulling strings.
That's crazy to me. But like, I I also think it's crazy. Like, I don't know. I don't think that Beyonce would leave him. Like, cause
I don't think
she
so
knows
either.
about it. She probably knows about it,
Absolutely.
or she knows about it and chooses to ignore it and pretend she doesn't know about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
And
like,
this
I don't
and
know.
this
It's
is sort
crazy.
of going to roll into a topic I wanted to talk about child stars and the Disney effect.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about that. And
But
we have to talk about Nickelodeon while we're at it.
absolutely. Justin Bieber was a little Canadian boy singing on the internet for fun.
Me,
And then Usher and P. Diddy got his hands on him.
Usher.
Yes.
That's here's what sucks. I don't care. Like I like Usher, I guess, or liked Usher, but like not really him as a person. I just like yeah the song,
Absolutely.
and
But
so
like
yeah. Anyway,
because of their connection, blah, 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 blah. Because of P. Diddy's and Usher's connections, Justin Bieber attended white parties from a young age and was dragged into the scene. And we all thought he was turning into this awful person. But now it's been released that he's been trying to protect Billie Eilish from the music industry because she's next.
really,
She was the young artist who became discovered, like blew up,
Of
And
all people,
just,
Billie Eilish?
well, this goes back a few years, not like
Oh.
right now.
Oh. I was gonna say she's
Not
been
right now.
around
No,
a
no, no.
while, and also like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But when she got her rise to fame, Justin Bieber swept in really fast to help shelter her from that side of the industry. And that's why she's been so steady and so strong in her stance as an artist and who she collaborates and works with and associates with. Um, but we also have this preconceived notion about Justin Bieber and his late teens, early 20s of being this hooligan who does drugs and trashes hotels. And
I just figured he was a teenage boy because that's what they do.
it was him retaliating against the music industry.
Well, yeah, and honestly, like he definitely got away with it more because he was a man.
Absolutely.
Like, like,
Absolutely.
like that's why I don't think people would feel bad for him if he was a woman, which is a whole like different thing, really. But
But
like,
when but
he's
when
still a
Miley
victim. He's still a victim.
it's definitely a
He's
victim.
still a victim.
But like when Miley Cyrus or Demi Lovato or Lindsay Lohan or Britney Spears, when they started retaliating against the industry, oh, they're psychotic, they're drug addicts, mental break, they need to be institutionalized. Like,
Yeah,
this goes into the Disney effect, where these kids from a young age get so much public attention, and Disney thinks they know what they're doing and they shelter them from all the bad parts of the industry, like, and they try to make them stay kids for as long as they can, not only to keep their innocence but to make money off of them
yeah.
as
They
portraying young kids.
they exploit them. Yeah,
Absolutely. But then as soon as their NDAs and their contracts are void, they're released into this world where everything is a social hierarchy in the scene with drugs and sex, and all of a sudden they're exposed to all of this in one fell swoop, and they don't know how to control themselves.
yeah, yeah,
They've never been taught or had publicity training on how to avoid these situations, or how to, as childish as it says, say no to drugs and avoid peer pressure. They're trying to grow up, and this is what they think is going to make them appear grown up and get out of this picture of them as children.
yeah. Well, and they try to grow up really, really fast,
Yes.
and that's like, I feel like that's something that is relatable in a sense, like maybe not to that scale, but
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like we all have kind of tried to do something like when we were younger that made us feel or appear more grown up.
Absolutely.
You know what I
But
mean?
but when they do it, they have the world's attention,
Yeah.
and negative or positive, it's generating buzz, and they just go faster into what unfortunately ends into a descent for a lot of them
Yeah.
because they lack control. And that's not their fault.
No.
No one taught them how to be adults.
Yeah.
They've been trained to be children their entire lives.
Yeah.
The biggest person I can think of that it's happened to recently, I will say definitely more eloquently, is JoJo Siwa.
I was about to say.
Is JoJo Siwa. When she had this contract, and this loops in Nickelodeon,
Yeah,
she
because she
had
was
this
Nickelodeon.
she had this contract with Nickelodeon and was sort of like almost their spokesperson per
Yeah.
se. She was hosting the Kids' Choice Awards and whatnot. And one night, she posts a video of her lip syncing to Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl.
I called it. I had always said that she was gay, and I was right.
The
Just
next
saying.
day, the next day, Nickelodeon calls her and says, "What are you going to do about this?" And she goes, "What do you mean? What am I going to do about this?" And she was like, and Nickelodeon was like, "You have to call all of the companies that you have brand deals with or merchandise with, and you have to tell them that you're not going crazy
For being gay.
for being gay."
Which is
For
so dumb because do you know how many Nickelodeon stars probably are gay?
absolutely,
It's just that she was still under contract with them.
absolutely. And she was under contract, and that's why she's been blacklisted from Nickelodeon. We don't see her anymore.
You know what? I'm glad that because she at that point she did not need Nickelodeon.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? And like, here's the thing: I'm not her biggest fan. I have her blocked on TikTok, so I don't have to see her. But like, she didn't need them. You know what I
No,
mean? She didn't need them at all. And like, arguably, more people have supported her after she came out than beforehand.
absolutely.
Um, did you see the magazine cover she did?
Yes. With the breastplate and the
Yes,
underwear. Yes.
yes, the bedazzled strap on.
Yes.
It disturbed me. I had a nightmare about it. Okay, but
Hey?
here's the thing. She was serving face.
Oh, yes.
She was serving face, but the rest of it couldn't handle that. That was too much for me.
I didn't need to see that, but I'm glad she's doing JoJo's doing JoJo.
Yeah. I do think it's a little weird. Like, remember how she was performing at Pride and we didn't go that day?
Yes, we were supposed to.
We weren't supposed to go that day. We were going to go the next day.
We were going to go the next day.
We weren't going to go the day that. The
Shh,
reason we weren't going is because JoJo was going to be there.
correct. That's right. And they had to shut down letting people in.
Yeah, and even after they shut it down, it was still overcrowded.
It was overcrowded for JoJo Siwa of all acts.
Well, and I do think it's a little bit strange that she like drinks on stage and stuff. And
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. I've never been a fan when anyone does that.
yeah,
It's
and
uncalled
like,
for.
there's a lot of things about her that I'm like, that's weird.
I
But like,
think
I agree. I do agree that like she is one of the like she's allowed to grow up,
mhm,
and she was one of the child stars they tried to pigeonhole into being,
a
you know what I
child.
mean?
Hmm.
And like that does kind of make her a victim, but also there are a lot of things about her that I'm like, "Ugh, that's a little strange." But I do
Yep,
think I have a theory. I think it's because her mom is still managing her, and her mom makes her do a lot of that weird, crazy shit
absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
it brings attention to her either way.
And it makes money.
Yeah. But anyway,
Anywho,
anywho,
um,
we could talk about Nickelodeon for a long time, and I'm pretty sure I just had this memory. And we can save Shane Dawson for later, but I think he was one of the I don't know if he was one of the first ones, actually. I shouldn't say that. But I vaguely remember a video of his that talked about Dan Dan Schneider. Is that his name? Dan
Dan
Schneider?
Schneider. Yep.
I vaguely remember a video of Shane Dawson's that came out in like I want to say like 2017, 2018 or
Sounds
something.
about right. Yeah.
Maybe earlier that talked about Dan Schneider and everybody ignored it.
Absolutely. People have been saying things about Dan Schneider for years, and it wasn't until the documentary came out.
I've always not because of Jeanette McCurdy.
Hmm.
I have always not like like I've always thought that Dan Schneider has had been this way and been a bad person. Because
Well,
I'm one of Jeanette McCurdy's biggest fans. I was a Sam Puckett girly, and so therefore
absolutely.
I'm one of Jeanette McCurdy's biggest fans. I read her book. I loved it. I have a signed copy of it. um,
But like on iCarly, yes, it's Sam and Carly that are the ones on screen, but they were always the ones doing the weird shit.
yes, they were.
Never Freddie. Gibby was always Gibby, but
Gibby was gibbying.
Gibby was never putting faces on his toes and wiggling them in front of the camera.
Yeah, the weirdest thing about Gibby was that he always like had his shirt off and like was eating, or there was a while like in the end of the series where he had that head that he carried around that was like it was a copy of his head and he carried it
Yes.
around, which
Yes.
that was kind of funny, but also creepy.
Mm-hmm. But like, Freddie never had to do anything weird.
No, the weirdest thing Freddie ever did was like speak random Spanish.
Spencer did weird things, but that was to protect the other cast members from doing that.
Yeah. Well, and also like he was a he was a grown man. He was like I think he was like in his 30s when
Yes.
they were doing the show, and so
What's his
like
name?
Jerry Trainer.
Jerry Trainer.
Um, and so like I yeah, I think he took on a lot of it, but also I think that like it is less weird just objectively because that's kind of how men behave anyway.
Yeah, and he wasn't a minor.
Yeah.
He wasn't an adolescent.
Yeah. But also it's kind of weird because I think canonically Spencer is like in his early 20s or supposed to be.
Yeah.
And Jerry Trainer, I think he was like in his 30s. But so I think it is and like the rest of the kids were like their age. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. For the most
Um
part, yeah.
so I think it is a little bit strange that like they had like a 30-year-old man and then a bunch of like middle schoolers. But like
I agreed.
that's not his fault. That's not his fault.
No.
And obviously like he's not like a bad dude and he like saw that things were wrong and like
Mm-hmm.
what was happening, which is lucky also because he could have been a creep.
Absolutely.
Um
Absolutely.
so but like the choice by Dan Schneider, I mean, to hire a 30-year-old man, like mid 30-year-old, early mid 30-year-old man, and then like those children, it just like that's weird. And that's like a Dan Schneider thing.
Let me tell you, when the documentary dropped,
I didn't
I
even
was
watch it.
shocked. I was shocked about how much of a victim Drake Bell was.
Oh yeah, because I always so like Drake Bell, the last I had heard of him before the documentary came out was that he changed his name to Drake Campagna because there was some sort of like rumor that he sexually assaulted somebody or
Yeah, that he was actively grooming someone.
yeah, and so I the last I heard of him before he kind of dropped off the face of the planet for a little while
Mm-hmm.
was that he changed his name to Drake Campagna, which means Drake Bell in Spanish, I think. And he like started making like I don't know, he like moved and started making like music in Mexico or something. That could be a rumor, but like that was the last I had heard about him before I didn't hear anything about him for like a long
Mm-hmm.
time. And so the documentary dropped and like I was really shocked because I was like I just heard that this guy was like grooming somebody.
Yeah.
Which is that true? Him as a victim, I still I guess I still feel bad for, but like if he still groomed somebody, like I don't know how I feel about that.
Um,
But I don't know if it's true or not, or if
During
somebody made that
Bell's
up.
sentencing hearing, the victim, who was then 19, accused
Sent
the actor of grooming her since she was 12, sending her graphic photos and engaging in sexual misconduct in two separate incidents. NBC News reported, "My life hasn't been the same since I was 15," the woman had said at the time.
So he did do it.
Yes.
Okay. So like I do have empathy that he
Yeah, he
was
pleaded
a
guilty.
okay. I do have empathy that he was like a Dan Schneider victim because obviously that would fuck you up.
Well, it
But
wasn't
like,
Dan Schneider.
oh well, sorry, the other guy I can't remember his name. He
Um,
worked at Nickel. I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Brian Peck.
Brian Peck. Um, I have empathy for him in that regard, but like he did groom somebody, and like I know that probably it was probably part of his
It's the
trauma.
whole like apple doesn't fall far from the tree, monkey see, monkey do, all of those
Yeah,
things.
but
And
like
so,
it's still not okay.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like he's still. I don't automatically like exhume him. I don't know if that's the right word.
absolutely.
I don't. I don't like exhume him from what he did, even though I acknowledge that he was a victim and like that's not like none of it is right.
Hmm.
But yeah, I still have like a little bit of empathy for him, but I have more empathy for the person that he groomed. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind
We'll
of
talk about Shane.
I group Shane Dawson into Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
and and that might sound weird, but like I said before, he came out with a video, um, like a while ago about Dan Schneider, and like I think he also came out with a Disney Star one. Although I don't remember ever watching that one because I was always more interested in his like actual like conspiracy ghost videos. Like if I watched Shane Dawson, that was what it was for. I'm ashamed to admit that I did watch him like early like when I was in middle school, so like 2014-ish.
Hmm.
And like that was when he was doing um that was when he was doing most of his problematic stuff, I guess. But like I never because he had that racist persona or whatever. I can't remember the name of it. Do you remember the name of it?
Um, wasn't it like
It was really offensive.
Shanye or something?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
something. It was something like really stereotypical and like offensive. I never really watched those videos because I didn't think they were funny because they weren't because they were racist. But like I don't think I don't because I never like liked those videos, never put it together in my head that it was like bad because I just didn't watch them. But I would watch like his conspiracy videos and his ghost videos and stuff. And we can get to Garrett Watts in a second because Garrett Watts was a victim, I think.
yep.
Um, but like I feel like actually I think people have done study like not studies, but like video essays on the rise and fall of Shane Dawson.
Hmm.
And like it fascinates me because
Shanae.
Shanae, yeah. Um, it fascinates me because he did get kind of canceled in
Hmm.
like 2015 or 16. And then like for actually I can't remember if it was because he cheated on his girlfriend like when he came out as bisexual.
Hmm.
I can't remember if it was because of that or if it was because of like his racist stuff because he did a lot of that. Um but I know that he got canceled like in 2016 or like around then. And
Hmm.
then for some reason everybody forgave him and started watching him again. And it was like fine. And I don't really understand that. Like and the second time it was because of Jeffree Star and Cheeto.
Yes.
The second
Yes.
yeah, the second time it was because of the Jeffree Star and Cheeto situation. It was kind of like wrapped up into one kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um which was crazy in itself. Like
This, when this happened, this is when everyone on YouTube was being canceled.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. A lot of it was rightfully so because most of it was like um it was around like the murder of George Floyd. I won't say it's the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement because it's not. The Black Lives Matter movement has been around like forever.
Absolutely.
But like everybody was like coming forward and being like, well, actually, I don't. He didn't come forward. People were like, hey, you were fucking racist like 5 or 6 years ago,
Yes.
and you need to apologize for that and get off the internet because honestly, because he's always been offensive.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like part of his shtick is that he was like offensive and
Well, the humor back then, it was
it was different.
acceptable.
It was acceptable. It shouldn't have been. Um, but it was acceptable and people found it funny. And like it
Well,
was just a
it's
whole
like
thing.
I was just having this conversation with my boyfriend because the other night we watched the movie White Chicks. And in the movie, um, when the two um, Asians are undercover as the white chicks, they're in a car with other teenage girls, and the radio switches to a song that has the N word in it, and them actually being black say the N word, but they're posing as these white girls, and their friends pause the music and they're like,
Hey,
"You just said that." And they go, "So? Nobody's around?" And then they turn the music on and everyone in the car says it.
I've never seen that movie. That's fucked up. But that is
I
what like that's what white girls do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
And
what
it,
white
like
people do.
at that time, that comedy was acceptable.
Yeah, and it's not. It's not. It never
Not
was.
anymore.
It never should have
No.
been. Um. But anyway, going back to that, like, were we talking about the first time that he got canceled? It was because it was,
Yeah, that
and then the second time was with Jeffree Star and Cheeto and
and like it was still brought up that like
oh
this
yeah,
this you're
because
still an awful person because of this, you're still posting.
well because like yeah, like he didn't like deplatform himself or at least like I don't even think he deleted the videos. I think they're still up.
There they have now been at least privated, but there are still videos that other people have re-uploaded to
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
with like Shanae and all of the him as Nicki Minaj and
Oh, I forgot he even did that.
yeah.
Yeah, all of it is just so like take notes from Jenna Marbles. I miss
Absolutely
her. I miss her
canceled
dearly every day.
herself.
She canceled herself. Nobody was even like attacking her for it. Like
No, not at
she
all.
literally she brought it up. She was like, "Hey, I did all this stuff and I'm sorry and like I'm deplatforming myself." It was
And
crazy.
it's so hard because not to be selfish, but during the pandemic, what really like kept me sane was her podcast
Oh
with
yeah, I love her
Julian
podcast.
Smollett.
I loved her. I loved her podcast. I
And
still listen to it sometimes.
oh, I absolutely go back and listen to the podcast and watch YouTube videos. Like if you go into the comment section, there are people who are like, "Who's here? September 2024. We miss you."
Yeah.
And she, at this point, we know she's never coming back.
No.
She's never coming back. Julian still posts.
Mhm.
He games mostly.
They got
But like
married.
they did get married and they posted photos.
Mhm.
Um, there have been a couple of fans who have posted photos of Jenna
Really?
with her like at a mall or something. And so she's out and about.
I'm glad because
But
I remember her I remember her feeling like she couldn't ever leave the house.
mhm.
Because like when she was kind of in her height or like before she stopped post like I mean obviously it was kind of getting into COVID, I think.
Yes.
No, or was it?
At this time, I think so.
Okay. Well, but I'm gonna call that kind of her height, even though it I don't think it really is truly the height of her career. But
Hmm.
like she like people they had to move because people found their house.
Yes.
And I remember her feeling like she couldn't even leave her house and go out in public. Like it gave her anxiety and it made her scared. And so I'm glad that I'm glad that she feels safer doing that now. You know what I mean? Like
Me too.
I think that she deplatformed herself for a lot of reasons. One, because she truly felt like it was the right thing to do, was to take accountability for the stuff that she had done in the past, and and you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
and you, that probably is was the right thing to do. But I also think that mentally she was exhausted,
Oh, for sure.
and
Absolutely.
I'm glad that she. I'm sure she's a lot happier. As much as I miss her, I have all her old videos I can go back and watch. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I honestly, I'm happy for her because like if I were in her shoes, like, and I felt that anxious and scared to go out in public, which I already feel, not even
Yeah,
being like well known, like that would take such a toll on me.
absolutely.
So I'm kind of glad that she's doing well because I imagine that all she does is like hang out with her dogs and like go on walks and
Hmm.
do Jenna stuff. I'm sure she is still doing the same stuff that she used to do, just off
Probably
camera.
just for Julian. Yeah. And
Which,
last I heard, Marbles is still alive,
oh, is he?
still kicking.
I'm really scared for when Marbles passes away.
No, I know.
I think it's going to be really sad. But also, I'm kind of glad that Jenna wouldn't have to make a video being like Marbles has passed away.
Yeah,
Like Julian probably will say something
absolutely.
on Twitch. But anyway, that was kind of a tangent, but kind of going back to Shane Dawson, I just think it's so strange that like people started watching him again. And I guess I think we're seeing the same thing with Tana Mojo that we saw with Shane Dawson because
Absolutely.
Tana Mojo also got canceled
Because of TanaCon.
because of TanaCon and also because she said the N-word.
Yep.
That was the reason I thought she got canceled because I watched her up until I found out she said the N-word. And then I
Hmm.
was like, I can't do this anymore. Um, but anyway, like I think that the Shane Dawson effect also happened to Tana Mojo because she got canceled. She's been canceled a lot of times, but like I think the biggest cancellation was when people like found out that she had said like racist stuff. You know what I mean? And that was like in 2007. That was a long time ago.
Hmm.
I th- I was like 12 or 13 maybe.
Yeah.
Um but like so she was canceled for that and then she was canceled for TanaCon.
Oh,
And
what a train wreck.
the whole concept of that is crazy to me. Um but she talks about it a lot. But anyway,
Hmm.
and then with the rise of canceled and then
Yes.
and then she kind of like Brooke Brooke got canceled and therefore I feel like even though Tana kind of spoke out against it,
Yeah, she did.
Tana still kind of like went down with the ship,
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. 100%.
which makes sense to me because I don't want to like speak on her business and her behavior and her
Yeah,
problems, but it's something that she's been open about, so I'm going to talk about it and I mean it respectfully, but she had quit drinking for a while
yeah.
and she decided to become sober for a while, or at least California sober. I don't know if she was smoking weed or if she just stopped drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Um recently she like kind of started getting back into drinking. Um like I don't know if it was before or after like Brooke's tweets came out. I can't remember, but I know that she like had started getting back into drinking. So
Mm-hmm.
I I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of wondering if that would make her kind of backslide.
Essentially,
You know what I'm
we're
saying?
just gonna have to sit back and watch at this point.
Yeah. Well, and another thing that I saw it secondhand because I don't I don't watch them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they posted on like the canceled TikTok that like they like overestimated their fan base in like I can't remember if it was Boston or Baltimore. I get them mixed up. But either way, I think it was Baltimore, which has like a large black population.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we severely miscalculated how many people would be interested in our show here. And everybody's like, I wonder why. Because you people are racist.
Yep,
Like, oh my god. It was just
it's
crazy.
crazy.
And
And
honestly, I'm really ashamed to say that I did listen to the canceled podcast even after like even after Tana was canceled so many times, but like she aged so much and she actually seemed like she had grown up. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Um, but I am kind of like ashamed that I even ever listened to it in the first place.
I mean, if it comes up on my TikTok page, I didn't scroll away. Like,
No, but like I would actually like go on Spotify and like
mm,
listen. And like I wish I could take all that money away from
you've
them.
given them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's something to feel guilty about. Time heals, and it's been a while since Tana has done any of that. And
Yeah. I think I just
with
like like as a white person we shouldn't be the ones to
support,
well
yeah,
to
to
forgive
forgive,
that behavior.
absolutely. I
And
totally
like
understand.
yeah. And so I think I, I don't necessarily think that I was forgiving it because honestly, I listened mostly for Brooke anyway. Cuz I thought she was cool beforehand.
Beforehand.
Um but like it still put like money in Tana's
Yeah.
pocket in both of their pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So I guess it more like it makes me uncomfortable that I supported them for a short time because it
Absolutely.
honestly it really was a short time before all that came out.
Yeah.
So I am glad that like it could have been longer because they've been doing it for longer. Um but I don't know.
And the thing is, all of these people that we've mentioned, except for Jenna Marbles, still post. And they
Yeah.
still get millions of views or listens. Shane Dawson still posts conspiracy theories, and all the videos pass 1 million views.
I knew he still posted, but I just thought he posted vlog. He still posts conspiracy theories.
He's the one who posts the conspiracy theories. Rylan Adams is the one who posts the family vlogs with their new twins, which I think is crazy.
Rylan pisses me off. I don't know how to explain it. He just infuriates me on another level.
There used to be a YouTube channel that Ryland was a broadcaster on.
I remember. I remember when they first started dating, like because they kind of told like this whole or like they gave background and I don't know because Ryland would say like when I used to work for blah 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 like whatever channel and like I can't remember what the channel was called. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
Um,
trying to look it up.
but like Ryland always kind of pissed me off. I think
Clever News.
Clever News, and they used to be really popular.
I used to love Clever.
They used to be really popular, but I don't remember. I never remember watching a Clever video where Ryland was um, a host or a commentator or whatever.
Yeah. So the last time that they posted Clever News, last time they posted was a year ago. So they're officially dead in the water.
That's crazy. Everything about Shane Dawson is just like. Here's the thing: Super Love, great song.
Yeah.
I listened to Super Love illegally, um, so that he doesn't get my money because genuinely sometimes I just have to listen to it. And sometimes
LOL.
and sometimes I hear he did that Nicki was it a Nicki Minaj parody?
Yes, he did.
Sometimes I hear like they'll put it in a Subway Surfers video on YouTube. Roll up to the party. My name is
Yep.
that bitch, but I can't get in the door because my
That
booty's too
booty too
big.
big. Absolutely.
1% is human, 99 is plastic. Just a second, I gotta fix my wig. Like,
Yep.
I've
Absolutely.
only ever listened to that one on TikTok though. Like
Oh.
because what they would do is play Subway Surfers and then Photoshop him on the Subway Surfer and like move him around like a little doll. So really, it was more like making fun of him,
But
but
the
still,
thing is, at the time, that parody was so iconic.
I never actually watched the parody on YouTube.
I absolutely did. I remember sitting in my family room with my dad's laptop watching Shane Dawson and I don't know, Shane Dawson TV is I think what it was called.
Yeah, he had a lot of different
Absolutely.
channels. He had a lot of different channels.
I ate that shit up as a kid.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I did. Do I think it's funny and clever now? No,
no,
absolutely not.
no. If it's funny, it's like ironic fun, like
But
it's stupid funny.
like I said, at that time, that comedy was acceptable by the general public, and now it is absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, and also like I feel like as like we were kind of taught by society to find that funny when
Yes, we
really it
were.
wasn't, and you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
So it's not 100% our fault. Like
No.
I will take all responsibility, just because I don't know. It's just it makes me feel bad because I so don't like none of those things are my values.
No, absolutely
And
not.
so it makes me feel bad. So I'll take all responsibility for it. But even though it's not 100% my fault.
No, you don't have to take 100% responsibility. Like us as a general public, and our generation specifically, kids growing up with YouTube,
Yeah.
like the internet told us that that was funny and acceptable,
One
and we
thing,
didn't have
one,
restrictions.
yeah, one thing I don't understand though is I don't know how you say his name. Onion guy. Onesian? Onesian? I don't know how you say his name. I never known. You know who I'm talking about? You don't
No,
know
I have
who
no
Onesian?
clue.
You don't know who he is?
No, who
He
is
used to
this?
make I will say this guy never found funny because it actually was so offensive that it wasn't funny. He made like the most foul. I actually don't even remember what his videos were about. I just remember that they were so offensive that they weren't
Oh, is this
funny.
the guy with the bad teeth?
Maybe?
Like this guy?
Yeah, him. Mhm. His videos were so offensive that they
I
were
don't
funny.
remember ever watching him.
Well, I never watched him on my own, but I had friends that would try to show me his videos, and I was like, "These, I don't like these. They aren't funny."
He has a video from a month ago entitled "Why I'm Back."
And he's more offensive than ever because I've seen him. He tries to go live on TikTok and spew his hate rhetoric, his racist, anti-trans hate rhetoric, and it's disgusting.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, um, this is what he has posted on his YouTube description. YouTube demonetized Onision after he was R-worded.
What does that mean?
Onision's R-worded?
Raped?
Yes.
Was he?
Yeah, it says raped here. I
Oh,
just said R-worded.
you can say
Um,
raped. Where I put us on the explicit. I checked the
oh, great,
explicit box on
great.
Spotify. So
Uh, Onision videos moved to onision.com and x.com or slash Onision for the following reason. A woman named Sarah stated she could destroy Onision's life. As a result, Onision asked Sarah to sign a document stating that she could not lie about him. Sarah insisted she would only sign if she got what she wanted, quote unquote, and only if she could, quote unquote, do stuff with him and his spouse. Knowing any lie she told would be believed by the ignorant masses online, he gave her whatever she demanded. Onision being forced to sleep with someone created complicated thoughts and emotions. When Onision stopped making excuses for what Sarah was doing to him and his spouse, he told Sarah it was over and she promptly apologized for raping Onision and his spouse, then apologized at the airport as well. Weeks after Sarah returned home, she proceeded to destroy Onision's life as she threatened YouTube quickly demonetized Onision, the rape victim, ending his ability to support his family as before. So this is what he had posted.
okay.
Um, I
I
don't
mean, like
know.
that's terrible, but it doesn't give him an excuse to be an asshole.
I don't know if there's any legal backing to that, but it's what is posted as his description on his YouTube channel.
That's kind of crazy. I obviously I don't watch him and never will, so I didn't know. Like I wouldn't know any of that. But like I mean,
It's crazy.
it is crazy. And if it's true, it's like sad, but it doesn't give him an excuse to go online and be a transphobe and a racist.
Yep.
So so, but that's interesting.
Speaking of the internet, yesterday I saw, first off, I didn't realize that Josh Dunn, the drummer of 21 Pilots,
Uh-huh.
and Debbie Ryan
Are
were in a
married?
relationship.
I
They're
think
married?
I think they're married.
That's crazy.
I'm not 100% sure if they're married.
I've never seen anything about their relationship in the public eye before.
You haven't? They did a whole house tour.
I was about to say yesterday I watched the house tour
Their house is
and their
cool.
their house is sick as fuck. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you get when you have rich artist friends to design your house for you
No,
because
100%.
man, I want to be in their house. The vibe is immaculate.
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of cool shit in their house.
They have
I'm
a
pretty sure.
boxing ring in the basement.
Yeah. And they have like this cool entertainment room, and I'm pretty sure he has a recording studio in their
Yes, he has
house.
a recording studio with a custom drum kit in it that looks like wood. It's really freaking cool. They have a little sitting area that they said they like to use after the like s'mores or desserts or whatever that they just like to talk in. Their kitchen is a huge hangout spot. They have a designated board game room.
I feel like they're really at peace.
I think they really are at peace.
Once the popularity of 21 Pilots kind of died down a little bit,
Hmm.
I think those guys and Debbie Ryan are really at peace. Does the other guy have a wife?
I have no clue.
I feel like he does. I feel like he had a wife before Debbie Ryan and Josh Dunn were together.
Um,
Like I feel like he's always had a wife. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
isn't his name Tyler Perry?
No,
Who's Tyler Perry?
Tyler Perry made.
Who's Tyler Perry?
Hang on, because it's not
Tyler
who,
Joseph.
Tyler Joseph. Tyler Perry.
Who's Tyler Perry?
This is Tyler Perry.
Oh, oh.
Tyler Perry is Medea. Tyler Perry is Medea.
Oh, I'm gonna get blasted for that one. Oh my god! I knew his
No.
name was Tyler.
No, but like that was actually a really funny mistake
It's so funny.
because Tyler Perry is so different to Tyler Joseph.
Tyler Joseph. Uh,
Oh my god, that was good. I love comedy.
oh, we were seeing if he was married. That's
Yeah.
right. Um, yeah, Jenna Joseph married in 2015.
Oh no, yeah. So I think like most of the time that they were like super popular, he was married,
Yeah,
or at least they were together.
Debbie Ryan and Josh Dunn didn't get married until 2019.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh my god, we're gonna do an episode on the horrors of 2014, and
Oh,
like
absolutely.
I don't think it was 2014, but we also need to talk about how you wore a full beat and heels to school that one time.
Gah. That was high school, so that was like 2016 through like 2018 for me.
It was high school, but you looked like you were in middle school. You looked like in that picture, you looked like me in middle school. And that's why I get confused.
I looked extremely young growing up. That's what I get for being a late bloomer, I guess.
Yeah, but you look older with makeup on.
Do you think?
Yeah, you look like a middle-aged white woman with makeup on.
Ooh.
But I haven't gotten an opportunity to do drag on you yet.
I know I haven't been in full beat in quite some time.
I need to do drag like on here.
Yeah. Oh,
But
for sure.
but here's the thing, I'm not going to do it like for the Halloween episode. I'm just going to do it for a random episode
Absolutely.
because
That's a
I
great
can.
idea. Yeah.
I think that's honestly better. But anyway, going back to like going back to Shea Dawson kind of.
Hmm.
Um I feel like we need to talk about like when like the second time, and because the second time, well, first of all, actually we need to talk about Drew Mito Cold. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
So Shane and Drew, his YouTube username was Mito Cold. And he's friends with Enya. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm. Not a clue.
Um, she, I can't remember her last name, but she used to make YouTube videos too. And so now Drew and Enya, like, well, they've always been friends, but they have like their own podcast now. And if you're, I describe myself as chronically online, not in a way where I have chronically online thoughts and feelings and opinions, but where I know everything about the internet. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Like, I'm just
is
so deeply
this
ingrained in it.
Enya Umanzor?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Um,
Okay,
but
I'm
they're
looking.
they're friends now, which is that's fine. That has nothing to do with really what I'm saying. But before Garrett Watts, there was Drew, and Shane and Drew were like really close friends, and then um, Drew Drew has periods where he leaves the internet for long periods of time, which I admire about him. Because I do think I'm pretty sure most of the time it's like for his mental health and stuff.
Is this
So
Drew Phillips?
yeah, I think so. He has
This
long
guy.
hair. Yeah, yeah. Um, but they were really good friends for a while, and then they stopped being friends, obviously, because of all of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I and then like when Garrett started coming into the videos, it was like Drew too. Even though Garrett and Drew have very, very different personalities, but like
Yeah,
Garrett kind of played the same role that Drew did, you
absolutely.
know.
I understand.
And I still love Garrett. It's like I to my knowledge, he's never done anything bad to my knowledge. Um but he was the one he I'm pretty sure he became Shane's editor, or he helped he
Yeah,
worked for Shane in some capacity.
he did. That's
Andrew
correct.
Andrew was like his
Camera guy.
videographer,
Yeah.
his cameraman. But um Garrett worked for Shane in some capacity. He,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And so like kind of the whole way that Garrett, in my eyes, rose to prominence was because they started talking about the haunted apartment that Shane used to live in that apartment, and
Yes.
then Garrett moved into it.
Yes.
And
I
like
remember this.
I loved those videos because obviously I love
The
my ghost.
paranormal and
Yeah, I
absolutely.
love my ghost videos. And so I always watch those, and I love Garrett, and I'm so glad that he kind of exited the situation because I do think he was starting to like kind of become a victim.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I think that I don't remember if he ever explicitly said anything, but he did make it clear that he, at a certain point, he was no longer affiliated with Shane.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrew, too, no longer affiliated with Shane.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
And I'm happy for them
At this
because,
point, I think it's just Shane and Ryland.
yeah. Well, and here's the thing Garrett, Andrew is Garrett's cameraman, or at least when they do like the haunted or like the paranormal videos,
Mm-hmm.
and they make better videos. They make better paranormal videos than Shane ever made,
Really?
in my opinion. You should go and watch them. They do actually get scary, but you should, if you have time, you should go and like watch them because he does a perfect job of combining humor and like actual science paranormal stuff,
Yeah.
and he does a great job, and he doesn't have to rely on like cheap shot jokes, you know what I'm
Good.
saying?
Yeah.
Like he's actually funny, and he actually makes it fun in like a bit. And yeah, I love Garrett Watts, and I hope that he hasn't done anything bad. Not he hasn't that I'm aware of. I feel like I would know by now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm glad that Garrett Watts and Andrew escaped. Also, Andrew used to date Gabby Hanna. Did you know that?
No.
Andrew and Gabby Hanna used to date, and
That's
she made a story time about him. Uh, yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah, they used to date, and it was like a whole thing. But I'm not sure if they ever like were public about it, but they hinted at it. I guess I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, but that's slightly entertaining to me. Um, but obviously they don't date anymore because she has a lot of other stuff going on with her, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into because I feel like I
That's a wormhole for another
it's
day.
a wormhole, and also it's too much to think about right now.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that's my synopsis on Shane Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn.
Man, I don't even. Oh. So, in the media right now, the new season of Dancing with the Stars is airing.
Oh yes.
We've had 2 episodes down, and this season is getting sort of mixed reviews, especially in the first couple of episodes, because of one of the contestants. And this contestant goes by the name of Anna Delvey, aka Anna Sorokin. The reason why this is a big deal, and I didn't really know much about her until the show Inventing Anna came out on Netflix.
I never watched it.
Um, but do you know like who Anna Delvey
Oh yeah,
is?
I know who she is. I know all her lore. I just never watched the documentary.
Right. So, uh, let's give like a quick timeline of Anna. So, everything begins in 2013 when Anna Sorokin moves to France and legally changes her name to Anna Delvey.
She's Russian originally, right?
Born in Russia,
Or in Russia.
grew up in Germany.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. She, I don't remember when she moved to Germany, but she was young.
Okay.
When she was in France, she began to invest in fashion. She attended fashion school and she began to live a life that financially she couldn't support herself.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she goes through a breakup in France, and this leads her to move to New York City. Now, she doesn't get citizenship. She gets a green card or a visa or something. Visa, I think.
If it's for work, it's probably a visa.
Visa. And she moves in 2013. She initially intended to stay for a very short time, but then she wanted to make it permanent. Um, and this is where Anna Delvey crafts the persona that she is a German heiress, and when she turns 26, she will get a boatload of a fortune.
But she's
And
not really. Like, this isn't real. She made it up, right?
yes and no. There's still a little bit of ambiguity about how Anna became Anna Delvey. Um, and we'll get into that at the end. But because in the New York socialite scene, there's a lot of heiresses or people who are nepo babies, come from money. She kind of slipped right in under the rug. Um, and this is when she started her, oh, let's go out for drinks. I'll pick up the tab next time, or I'll send you the money afterwards. And she starts racking up this tab with all of her friends and never pays a single dollar for herself. And this is in like 2014, 2015. She starts becoming a well known name. She's having dinners with CEOs of companies and celebrities. Athletes are writing or trying to get a bite of Anna Delvey. Um, and like I said, because of the high volume of like trust fund kids,
Mm-hmm.
she fits right in and no one questions her.
I, the whole thing is just so strange to me because how do you just not, like, somebody had to have questioned her. Like, I
Well,
don't know.
2016, 2017 is when people start catching on to her game. In 2016, uh, she starts staying at these hotels and promising them that she's good for her money and they don't like take a card ahead of time. And when they finally go to pay, either the card declines or there's a mysterious wire transfer that comes through. Wire transfers are her big thing. She either pays through cash or wire transfers, never on a card.
Where you're gonna tell me where the money comes from. I have a feeling, or where they think it
And
was from.
so she's taking Ubers and get eating at fancy restaurants and not paying a single thing. Um, and this gets to a point where she's in Morocco with a friend and racks up this huge bill and leaves her friend about $70,000 worth in debt because of the trip.
God damn. That's a
Yes.
lot.
And then, like I said, one time her credit card declined for a $30,000 bill at one of the boutique hotels that housed her. And then there was a mysterious wire transfer that came through that paid for it. Um, and these wire transfers follow her. Like, if you watch Inventing Anna, there's a lot of times where someone asks for, like, how would you like to pay? And she will go, do you accept wire transfers? In 2017, she establishes what she calls the Anna Delvey Foundation, which is
Mm-hmm.
her vision for high end boutiques for the rich of the rich, for them to have a place to get away with each other. As
Where
if
is it so that I can go eat them?
this is in New York City.
I'm going to go there and I'm going to eat them.
Um, at this point, she's overstaying her visa. Her time in New
Oh.
York is running out.
Do you know how long the visa was for in the first place? Like, how long did. What was the time frame of.
I want to say like 5 years, maybe.
Oh, okay, that's a long time. Okay.
Um, Somewhere between 3 and 5 years is
Okay.
what she was given. Um, and to hold, to put a visa on pause, if you're checked into a mental institution, it pauses. Time doesn't count there. If you're incarcerated
Oh,
for,
you
and
mean
so,
when you check into a mental institution, it pauses.
correct.
Okay.
Um, and so she flies to California and institutionalizes herself.
Me as fuck.
While staying at this mental institution or rehab or whatever it's calling itself, the friend that was left with the $70,000 charge gets involved with a sting operation with the police.
Like, about her?
Yes. And tells Anna that she's going to meet her in front of the building to get her out of there. Instead of her friend, it's the police. And they arrest her in 2017.
Iconic.
In October of that year, she was charged with theft of $300,000 and the attempted theft of $22 million.
Oh my
She
god.
was charged with 10 counts of theft, grand larceny, attempted theft, and a couple of other like stolen good charges,
What the fuck is larceny?
like stealing a lot of money.
Oh. So, like, there's no just larceny, there's only grand larceny?
Well, hold on.
I'm confused. I've never known what the word larceny means, and I'm not afraid to ask, actually.
Larceny is a noun that means the unlawful act of taking and carrying away someone else's personal property with the intent to permanently deprive the rightful owner of it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Continue.
In 2018, she held out bail. She'd been held without bail since her arrest in October the previous year. Anna was given a plea deal, and she rejects it. And then a court date is set for March of 2019
Why would she reject the plea deal?
because
Did she?
she didn't find herself guilty.
Okay.
Um, because truly, the proof that people had, everything about the situation is dodgy.
Yes.
All of the money she steals is credit card based,
Mm-hmm.
strictly credit card based.
So it's not real
Um,
money, essentially.
so it's not real money? Question mark. Um, And a lot of the banks that she's going to get these loans to get her business starting up rejects her loans or um, accepts early and gives her just like a bit of the money. Nothing is like there's so many great details. She's
Mm-hmm.
saying that she's like estranged from her father, but like when she turns 26, she's going to inherit this money by law. Like no one can get a hold of her family, which would
Yeah,
have
because
all of
they're
the
probably
answers.
in Germany or Russia.
Correct. In 2019, her trial begins. The biggest thing that she was known for is refusing to walk into the courtroom because she wasn't wearing couture. She wasn't wearing designer.
Girl, give it up.
She had to make an entrance.
That's crazy.
Um,
Maybe she really did need to be
Delvey
institutionalized.
showed up and still attempting to stay in character as a wealthy heiress, and her professionally styled fashion made headlines everywhere. One of her court dates, Delvey refused to show up as she was only given her prison issued attire. After a 2-day deliberation on April 25th, Delvey was found guilty of 8 charges, including grand larceny in the second degree, attempted grand larceny, and theft of services.
Crazy.
She was found not guilty of attempted grand larceny in the first degree and larceny in the second degree. She was subsequently given 4 to 12 years and ordered to pay a restitution fee. In 2021, she's released from prison for good behavior. She's released early.
I mean, she's
Um,
not really the type that would cause trouble in prison unless she stole money, which she probably doesn't know how to steal stuff that isn't credit card money.
except she only spends about a month out of prison
Oh.
before ICE detains her. Immigration.
Mm-hmm.
Because her visa. She over in prison
She
she
overstayed
overstayed
her
her
visa.
visa. Then they realize, we probably don't have to keep her around. Like she's already like spent all this time in jail and they decide to give her house arrest,
Mm.
which gives her the infamous ankle bracelet that
Mm-hmm.
has been making the headlines as she's been dancing on Dancing with the Stars. She can't take it off.
Well, it isn't she on house arrest, so how can she even leave her house to go to Dancing with the Stars?
She got permission
Oh.
from immigration to be able to travel between her residence in New York and to LA to film the show.
Oh.
As of Tuesday's episode, she has been kicked off the show. So she
Good.
only danced 2 dances.
I didn't like her
Um,
attitude.
and when the interviewers were asking her, like, what are you going to take away from this experience? She says, nothing.
Foul. I don't understand how everybody like I feel bad for what's his name? Ezra was her partner.
Yes, Ezra.
I really do feel bad for him because like I think he genuinely was trying to be positive and like you know what I mean? Like and
Mm-hmm.
I think he genuinely was trying to have fun and do the best with what he could. But like her attitude was just so bad. And I don't really understand how people are excusing that.
Mm-hmm. But
And she wasn't a good dancer. I saw that first dance. She was
yeah,
like it
in
wasn't.
2022 is when she was released from ICE and put on house arrest. She's really trying to fight these deportation, and she wants to stay in the U.S. She doesn't want to go back to Germany.
Well, I don't know why she can't get another visa. Is it because she's a felon?
Yes, and because it's expired, you'd have to renew it.
So she'd have to go back and renew it and then
Yes.
okay.
But it all depends on what ICE determines, like
I
if
wanna
she can come back.
I wanna know what she's running from over there. Because
Uh, that's a that's a great question.
that's what it sounds like that's what's happening is that she's running from something over there and she's trying to like you know what I mean? Like all of this is trying to
Mm-hmm.
deflect what's happening, what might be
Absolutely.
happening there.
And
She doesn't want to go back that bad.
as of 2023, she signed a deal for an unscripted television series called Delvey's Dinner Club, where she hosts lavish dinners at her NYC apartment and interviews her guests. Um, I've yet to see it make further headlines than she signed the deal. Um,
She does not really have like an interview personality, I feel.
no, she comes off as extremely dry when cameras are in front of her.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because she's like nervous or well, and
I think
also
it
I saw something that said that she learned that she was getting like hate and critiques on Dancing with the Stars and she ran away and cried.
cried in the bathroom. Yes,
Is that real?
yes. Um, Ezra posted on his TikTok about it.
Oh.
Um, and it's like she hasn't been getting great reviews since being released from prison. She's trying to rebrand herself other than a
Mhm.
criminal, which is what a lot of people see her as. But on a lot of interviews, you'll see she says she paid her restitution, she did her time. I almost understand where she's coming from of that this is still over her head that she did this, even though did the crime pay the time? She went to jail. She paid the money she had to pay. Like technically her name is clean now, but people will still always view her as a criminal.
Yeah, there's really no way to reframe that.
Here's the thing. Then we get music artists like Jelly Roll who serve prison time and they come out and completely rebrand themselves and everybody's like, "Yes, a country music icon." And
Yeah.
they completely negate the fact that he's a felon.
Yeah. I think maybe it has to do with her personality and her attitude then because I don't know if you've ever like seen a Jelly Roll interview, but he is really like remorseful about and he's very like he has a very open personality. I'm not like I'm not really like a fan, but like I've seen him kind of be a person, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen him talk about like him being a felon
Absolutely.
and he's very open and very remorseful and he makes it clear that he's on the path to changing his life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I have a feeling it might just have to do with the fact that she's a little bit closed off
Yeah,
because
I
she
would
does
agree.
yeah, she just kind of seemed just like very within herself
She's
and
still
closed off.
trying to hold on to this persona
Yeah.
of being very well kept together. And like I said, there's a lot of gray detail still involved because in interviews, she's been asked for, like, do you feel bad for all the people you've burned along the way? And she responded, she's like, name one person who I've burned. Like, because everything was through credit cards, all of their names got cleared after the court cases. They themselves didn't have to pay back their credit card charges. And
Oh.
so they're completely fine. The friend that she dumped that Moroccan trip on, she wrote an article about it and profited off of Anna because
Mm.
of it. And her credit debt was cleared. And so, like, truly, no one is still suffering the consequences that Anna's dumped on them. And so she's walking through life like genuinely nothing's holding her back anymore. She has this
Mm.
chance to restart. And that's what she was trying to rebrand herself on with the Stars with.
Mm.
But after the first week, her reviews were so bad, she gave up. I don't know. There's still a lot to unpack here, and I'm sure we'll hear about it soon as Anna
Yeah.
Delvey dives into whatever's next for her. I don't see her leaving the media anytime soon.
No. I feel like if she tries to let go of the persona that she was trying to build, it would probably get a little bit better for her. Because like
Absolutely.
people want to see like relatability within public figures.
Absolutely.
And so I have a feeling that part of it is that she's still trying to hold on to a persona that isn't relatable
Mhm.
for a majority of the country. And also I do still think that she's running from something
Probably.
potentially.
Yeah. Well,
Allegedly.
time will tell.
I don't want to get in trouble, but
We get a cease and desist from Anna Delvey.
that would be so crazy. She
I
does not
kind of
care
want
about it.
to. That's kind of crazy.
No, because I don't have any money. Danny would have to pay it.
So true. You have to pay for a cease and desist?
Oh, actually, I don't know.
I think it's cease and desist is a
I thought,
warning.
oh, for some reason I thought you had to pay a fine if you get a cease and desist. I could be wrong.
So you only get fined if you violate the cease and desist.
Oh, okay.
The cease and desist is legally you need to stop talking about this.
Oh. Well, honestly, I'm sure people have had the same thought. I'm not trying to like weave a conspiracy theory. I just think that if she doesn't want to go back there that badly, like something must have been going on.
Something caused her to leave in the first place.
Yeah, I mean whether that be just like she wanted to like her family's situation was bad or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like it doesn't have to be like super deep or anything, but like there's definitely like a reason that probably, you know what I mean,
Absolutely.
like pushed her here and makes her not want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's possible that she also just likes it here, but I don't know. That's interesting because I hate it here and I'd rather live in Germany. So,
Wendy Williams is a
Wendy
fat whale.
Williams, a
Wendy
killer.
Williams is a fat whale.
I
Shitty
love it.
cameraman.
I love it when she talks about like the killer. Like she has the
You're telling me you don't sleep with a baseball bat next to you for the killer?
literally, and she's always talking about like the killer.
Halloween is for the killer?
And you know what? She was so right for that.
Yeah.
And I find it really sad that she's being like exploited for money by her. I don't know what relation that guy had. It's not her
So
husband. I don't know. But I feel really bad for her. And I'm mad that she's being exploited.
with her dementia,
Hmm.
except people have come out with theories about it that relates to P Diddy
Um,
that it's an act.
her dementia is an act?
Yes.
What?
At first, it doesn't make sense, but we all know Wendy Williams as the person to share the tea
Hmm.
about everyone. No remorse. And the fact that Wendy Williams has never talked about P. Diddy or any of the relations that go down at the white parties or anything in that scene, some people suspect that she has to remain silent on the whole thing, that she knows information that could get her in trouble. And this whole P. Diddy drama has been going on for years, and Wendy Williams has never said a single thing about it.
You think she's being like silenced?
Who's to say?
I think she really has dementia.
I I would like to think that she
Because
has
well,
dementia.
because here's the thing, I've seen the videos and like it's really like I think that if she I don't think that she would I mean, I don't think that she necessarily has control of the way that they're portraying her anyway. I don't think she
No.
has control of them putting her on camera and exploiting her like they have been. But like, I think if she didn't actually have dementia, she wouldn't be letting it happen. You know, like I don't think because it is like it's really vulnerable, and I would imagine it would be really embarrassing. And like, what?
So I was trying to figure out. There's in a video, someone comes visits Wendy. I don't remember who it is. But I was trying to figure out, and I searched Wendy Williams and P Diddy was the first thing that popped up.
Really?
Um, the drama between the pair began in the 90s when Williams spoke out against Diddy on her radio show Hot 97 on multiple occasions. In 1998, Williams was fired from the radio show and has maintained a belief that Diddy played a role in it. Before getting fired from Hot 97, Williams claimed in 2005 during her radio show The Wendy Williams Experience that she was almost jumped by the girl group Total, which was signed to Diddy's record label Bad Boy Records. Williams recalled the alleged moment and hinted that Diddy was involved during a 2019 episode on her talk show. During a 2013 interview with Vlad TV, Williams tiptoed around her firing from Hot 97 and how it revolved around her speculation about the hip hop musician's sexuality. There was a radio personality once upon a time, and her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such, and now it's all come full circle, she teased. There were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle.
Wow, that's interesting. Wait, when did she say the full circle thing?
That was in 2013.
Oh, so that was a while ago.
But like people have been trying to pull P Diddy out to the limelight,
Yeah, as they
out
should.
from behind the limelight for years. And so in 2019, she said, he showed up, he smelled great, and his stomach was flat. Heather, he was handsome, and he ain't going nowhere. Can't be stopped now. During, after he appeared on her talk show.
I mean, I feel like probably somehow she is involved and probably some sort of victim.
Once again, it's a Jaguar right claim.
Oh,
So
I don't trust that. I really don't because of the Beyonce Lizzo awards. Like, I don't know. Not to say that
I understand.
some of her stories could be true. It's just that if you make yourself not credible, it's like,
Yeah, I understand.
but like going back to Wendy Williams, like, I, first of all, she's iconic. And I, I do think that her TV show is problematic. Like, I do.
100%.
But like, she created so many pop culture moments. And I think it's really, really sad what's happening to her. And I don't think that I don't think that there's any sort of conspiracy with like the dementia, because I think if she really was like all there, she would be shutting that shit down.
Absolutely. I'm really trying to remember who visited her. Black China.
Black China, and that's who. That's what she was like. Um, she was like expressing that she was uncomfortable with what was happening. I think
Yes.
to Black China.
Yes. Because, well, there was a whole thing about like she fought so hard for Britney Spears, and now she's under the same thing.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of like, is it a coincidence?
I don't know. I mean, like either way, because I think they might have been trying to put her in a censorship. or that they were trying to push her towards that.
Yeah.
Either way, I fully believe that the dementia is real, but I think that there's definitely something fishy going on with all of that, like the
Mm-hmm.
censorship stuff, and it's just them filming her and trying to raise awareness,
Yeah.
which is just like, let her be at peace. You know what I mean? She's probably
Just let her be
suffering.
home by herself.
She probably can't be up by herself.
Well, not by herself, but like not with cameras.
Yes, I can't remember the relation of the guy to her or his name at all. I feel like somehow they were related or super close or something. I hope you're okay, Wendy. It makes me really sad, honestly.
Yeah.
Not to end the episode on a sad note, but I'm sad for her.
We wish you the best.
Can't say the same for Shane Dawson. Justice for Cheeto, allegedly.
Justice for Cheeto.
Do they still have Cheeto? Do you know?
I have no clue if Cheeto's still around.
Well, justice for him.
Well, we hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of Yapfest featuring Ben and Lola. Keep listening where you listen to your podcast, Spotify and Apple Music. Go ahead and give us a follow on the Instagram, yapfest.podcast. And if you'd like to watch the video of this episode or future episodes, check out our YouTube channel, Yapfest featuring Ben and Lola.
Signing off. This is the Puppet Master.
And Lord Foog the Toost. See you next time.